Can you tell us a little bit about the book itself? What brought you to this point of having to sit down and use your pen to write this book?
Well, actually, it was my first book. In 1985, I authored How Not to Eat Pork or Life Without the Pig. And at that time, I was going around doing what I was calling Get Off That Hog lectures. And during my travels, I noted that I would take the microscope and show people how you can't kill the trichina worm in pork by cooking it. Heat was not destroying the worm, and I would show them, the difference, and demonstrate how FDA was now using radiation to try to kill the worms in pork because cooking was not working, which is what we had always been told. And during that time, a lot of black men were in agreement to get off eating pork. They wanted to change their eating habits, and they were happy to find out some information that might possibly save their lives. But it was black women who were the most adamant, who refused to change meal planning techniques, seasoning food, cooking techniques. And so I said, it's interesting. I said, if we are refusing to provide the black man with the proper physical food when we know that food is what sustains life, then what else are we withholding from him? Possibly there are some other areas, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, that we are affecting his behavior by what we do or what we withhold and refuse to give.
Wow, that's deep. Now, before I get into it, guys, there was actually a relationship retreat that we taught or hosted in Vegas a couple of months ago. And so I'm going to play a little clip of that because I talked a lot about this subject, okay? Here it is. You're insecure in the relationship because you don't know what you're doing. Neither one of you do. You don't feel whole in yourself. So you got to go back to the basics. Cooking is something both people should know how to do. But the importance of cooking in a family, when you're talking about roles and dynamics, if that queen knew the power of that role, not just making food taste good, passing down recipes from our grandparents like we pass down ideas and thoughts and they continue to kill us and it sounds good and it tastes good so we continue to eat it and listen to it. What if you knew how to cook, like how to boost a person's well-being, their mental aspect? Alkaline foods, right? Healthy foods that actually make a person heal their body. This would mean that now that queen is the doctor. She's so far ahead of him even getting sick and the whole family getting sick because she's putting all the right foods on the table. He don't even got to think about it. Here's your food. And he's eating foods that actually heal his body, raise his vibration. Think about how beautiful that is. And that's reduced to a woman's job is in the kitchen. That's the most powerful job in the house. You get to control the whole thing. If you eat good, your mind clears up. So not only are you more healthy, your brain thinks better. His brain thinks better. Don't you want his brain thinking better? Don't you want his and your children's brain thinking better? Okay, a woman's job is to stay at the house. Well, that sounds silly now, but back then, there was no school bus coming to pick our children up and going to program them. We taught our children. So imagine how powerful it is to have that teacher in the home, teaching your children. Now these generational curses are not continuing because all that is going on right inside the home. The man, if he has a male child, they're gone hunting. He's teaching him, and in this day's matrix, of course, you're not gonna go out and you're gonna hunt for all your food. You're gonna make money, work is what we have to do now. But he'll be teaching his sons how to go out and make that happen, how to create your own business. Because the goal for any merger because that's what a marriage is, a merger of two entities, two souls coming together, right? Or more, to create a future, a heritage for your family. The goal is you're probably gonna have children, right, if you're gonna be together. So you wanna make sure both of you are mentally able to be able to raise strong children. You don't wanna give your children your same mind, because if you don't work on you, what else can you do? But teach what you already know. Like right now, teach me molecular biology. Could you do it? You're gonna need some time, ain't you? You're gonna have to go get some time.
A lot of study.
Some stuff. All right, so I want to play that clip so you guys can see where I'm coming from, that it takes two to actually have a healthy, harmonic family, all right? If you only embrace your superpower, you could change the world. Your family will no doubt be healthy. Why would you continue to feed poison if you know you can change and feed life? You understand? And so she spoke about something else though. She said that if you fail to feed them physical food, what about that mental, that spiritual, that emotional food? Okay? I'd like to think that a lot of this stems from trauma. A lot of times we have been traumatized in life, and so it keeps us from being able to produce fully in relationships. So it's not necessarily the fault of the person that you're with, but maybe you had your heart broken in other relationships, or you just had improper training or the wrong data, and this is what makes us ill-equipped to perform in relationships. It almost makes us prideful, too prideful to change, or too prideful to want to give anything because we don't know what it takes. We often see the right things to give as disrespectful or demeaning in some way. So speaking of emotional and spiritual needs, uplifting him, okay? That means paying him compliments, okay? That means praising him when he does good. That means lifting him up, even when you're not happy with his performance, okay? But a lot of times you guys will call that catering to his ego, and you actually speak highly against that. You say things like, I refuse to cater to his ego. I ain't catering to no man's ego. But meanwhile, he's full well willing to cater to yours. You're beautiful. Okay, he praises you on every step of the way. But if you're not willing to pour into him in that way, don't you see how he won't be poured into? If you don't boost his confidence, don't you see how he won't have his confidence boosted by you? Don't you see how this would directly affect your family? So if you cooking bad foods directly affect your family, imagine how cooking good foods would directly affect your family. Now imagine how pouring into your family positively would affect your family. This is why you should not hold back at all. You're only hurting yourself. Ladies, whenever you say I refuse to pour or give to any relationship, it is you who remain stagnant. Relationships only go as far as the individuals in them are willing to work. All right? Peace.